Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of HyperOtaku. Lightning. A long time ago. Lightning.
Are we in the past?
It's a flashback. One time, I gave a ride to a homeless man, and I survived. And that's a long story for another day. But yes, that's something I did. And I'm Mal Acevedo, and I gave a ride to a homeless guy. That's right.
Did you almost die? Is that why this is a story?
Matt, these are intros. We can talk about it.
I am Emma Fife, and I never gave a ride to a homeless person, but one time gave a ride to a drunk friend who proceeded to speak to me backwards the entire time.
Whoa, what the heck?
That is quite a skill.
That's annoying.
Oh my god.
Yep, any word that he knows how to spell, he can say it forwards and backwards.
That's gross.
What a great skill.
Wow.
Without skipping a beat, he can just say it backwards.
I wouldn't have expected into that, but it's pretty dope.
Yep, pretty dope.
And my name is Michelle, Chubby Bunny. And I gave a ride to a homeless person once who was walking on the interstate, and then I gave him $100 when I dropped him off because I was very young and just felt really bad for him.
Oh boy.
I was like 23-ish.
Nice.
And I'm Yumi Warlock, and I have never given a ride to a stranger because I am not a fool. And nor am I young and naive. How could you guys do this? I'm so appalled.
Never young and naive?
I was never that young or naive.
Wow.
Middle of nowhere, Pennsylvania, though, just
Impressive.
FYI. I was in
Judging.
LA.
You just were born the way you
Yes.
are.
Bitter
That's
and
amazing.
old.
And I'm Max Song, and seeing how we're doing homeless facts, I once bought a homeless person a sandwich in which he decided he didn't like, and then I never bought sandwiches for homeless people ever again.
What the heck?
Whoa.
Did you sit with him as he took his bite? He was like,
That happened to a friend of mine. There was a guy at a Walmart that was saying he was a homeless guy who said he was hungry, and so my friend bought him a sandwich, and he was mad he bought him a sandwich because he wanted money.
Because he wanted drugs.
Because he wanted
He
those
wanted
things for
drugs.
other things.
wow. Well, welcome everyone, and we are
There
HyperOtaku.
was no lead-in, dude. You have to be like,
Yeah.
And okay, so
and then you breathe in so loud that we're like all ready.
I found out that's our new catchphase, and
Do it again.
all right, and we are
That was
HyperOtaku.
very good. My speed was too fast though, but it's
That was cute though.
Yeah.
I like how cute.
We have time to practice.
We
have
gotta
time to
practice.
Yeah.
That's super cute. Well, welcome everybody. We are so excited that you are all back here. Well, we see everyone. We see all you guys. Thank you for all the comments and for tweeting at us and letting us know your thoughts on everything. We love hearing from you guys. So keep talking to us because we like hearing your opinions and stuff. So yeah, thanks guys. Well, let's get right into it, guys. I'm gonna stretch for a second because we gotta do a quick mic switch.
right.
But I will say that
Is my mic working now?
not yet. I will say that at the end of the homeless story, I bought that guy Panda Express, and then I left him at a Panda Express, and then I drove away.
Yeah, he
How
loved
far
it.
away
Now
was he from
lives-
his
Wow.
destination?
It was,
I mean, he might have actually had a home or something.
I was on my way back home to Christmas Eve. I was like heading out for Christmas in San Diego, and I got coffee at like 8 p.m. And this guy was like, "Hey, what's up, man?" I was like, "Oh, maybe I know this guy. I don't know." And he was like, "Oh, what's up?" And then he approached me. He's like, when he was talking to me like I knew. He's like, "How's it going?" I'm like, "Oh, things are going great." I'm like, "I'm just getting coffee for my trip." He's like, "Where are you going?" "I'm going to LA." He's like, "Can I join you?" I was like, "Yeah."
Oh no.
And in a nutshell, halfway down, where I'm like, I can't. I mean, you can't come to LA, but I'll take you to the train station. So I took him to the train station on the freeway. We were just talking, and I was like, "Oh, so tell me about yourself." And he said, like, life's been like I'm like living on the run, like not on the run. I've been going like from casino to casino,
lam.
just trying to live off like casino life and stuff like that.
Matt,
You
no.
could have
It
been
was
very
I
savage.
was like,
Very
it was
savage.
scary.
Wow.
It was
I don't
very
wanna hear
scary.
any more about this you developed
I had to tell you the whole story because it's a long story.
His
Ghost,
name
first
was
of all.
Jason.
He died 10 years ago.
Well,
before
the
you
scariest
met him.
part was after he said that, he said, things have been really hard ever since I got out of prison. I was like, oh shit, like this is it. I'm like, why'd you go to prison? I used to steal little Cuban boys' cars like you. I'm like, no. But
Very
then
specific
we
crime.
went. I started like it got awkward, and then I started beatboxing, or he started beatboxing. And I was like, we should, and it was really weird. It was really weird.
This is the
Really
worst
weird.
story I've ever heard.
Anyways, I think that was enough
This is a good
stretching.
story.
Okay.
I like
Story.
this story. I like this story of how you
Hate
somehow
him.
survived by just being a cheerful guy. That doesn't happen often, but one day, if I'm ever like held up at a bank or something, I'm gonna start beatboxing. Maybe that'll work.
Confusing.
Well, guys, I'll tell that story another day. But it's time for some Weeb Weekly. All right, guys, this is everything you need to know this week to be the best weeboo you can be, everybody. First off, this is something that kind of struck me. I thought this is fascinating because, especially when we go into it, is that Netflix is working on 30 original anime series and 80 movies.
Yeah, so basically, the chief of content at Netflix, whose name is Ted Sarandos, confirmed on a call to investors essentially yesterday that they were indeed, they're basically trying to up the amount of content on Netflix that is original content. They want it to be about 50% original content.
Wow.
So in the last quarter, I believe that they released 8 Netflix original films. Now, these are not anime films. The films themselves are not all going to be anime. It's going to range everything from like little Sundance darlings to more epic sort of blockbustery stuff.
Right.
Will Smith is in a movie called Bright that's going to be a Netflix original
Right.
that's coming out before the end of the year.
Sounds
Written by
like he's done that movie before, guys.
well,
Yeah,
you know,
probably has something to do with
it's
Hitch 2?
no, it's Max Landis and David Ayers. So we'll see.
Oh boy.
Great.
And then early next year, Martin Scorsese has a new film called The Irishman, which is going to be a Netflix exclusive. So they're really kind of trying to cover all their bases here. So I wouldn't be surprised if we got some original animated films in there as well.
Right.
But they are definitely working on apparently 30 original anime series. Whether or not these are actually original
Right.
series
Yeah.
remains to be
Yeah.
seen.
We
because-
I
get
doubt it.
Neo-Yokyo.
Neo-Yokyo?
Season 2 and 3. I'm
Yeah.
gonna go down to Netflix
Yeah.
and start setting
Well,
things on
Did that
fire.
get-
I heard that. Like, people were like, "Oh, that did great in
People
Netflix
liked
numbers."
it.
I was
I'm
shocked.
gonna put them
People
all
really
in the
liked
prison
it.
for people who make bad things.
Right. But
Look.
I will say that, Castlevania was a Netflix inspired.
That was
series.
very
It was.
good.
that was
Very good.
actually
Was that-
extremely well done.
Was that Netflix produced?
Yes, that was produced
Yeah.
by
So-
Netflix.
so
But
they did
well, the saga of
everything.
Castlevania was fascinating because basically the rights have existed to make a film based on Castlevania 3 for a super long time.
Yeah.
And they've always been in the hands of more or less the team that ended up producing it for Netflix, and then Netflix finally picked it up, and so that was how
okay.
it ended up getting
Okay.
distribution. So it did end up getting produced for Netflix, and it was an original series. And of course, Voltron: Legendary Defender is definitely a decidedly anime-inspired original series. Or is it just going to be more things like Little Witch Academia?
That's what I'm wondering.
That's what I was thinking
Are they
too,
just gonna
because-
slap their name on it and be like, "This
or
is
like
a
Netflix
Netflix original"?
Right.
They did the same with Knights of Sidonia because
Yes.
I clearly remember it being on Crunchyroll.
Oh, totally.
And suddenly it wasn't, and then
Yep.
Netflix was like Netflix original. I was like, but I already saw this season.
Yeah, and,
Yeah.
Too late, Netflix.
I already saw it.
Yeah, and Seven Deadly Sins. Like,
Yeah.
that's the thing, is that a lot of the things that Netflix are claiming to be original series, they're not. They just have exclusive licensing and distribution deals with Netflix outside of Japan. So what I would ideally really like to see is some actually Japanese produced series specifically
That's what
for
I would like to
Netflix
see.
for
That's what
worldwide
I'd like to see.
And
distribution.
Netflix does exist in
knows,
Japan,
though?
and there are
It does.
there are a bunch of Netflix original shows that are in just for Japan that aren't here.
Yeah.
So I mean, just bring them over, ding dongs.
Exactly.
Come
So
on.
it's-
Stop putting your name
Yeah.
on a thing.
Totally. So
that's exciting.
yeah,
That's
it's
exciting.
but you know what? The future of the world is streaming services for sure, and
Yeah, 100%.
and it
is.
could and if they do end up producing original series in Japan for Netflix specifically for again that worldwide distribution, that could be a really 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 good thing for the anime industry.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's super dope.
Yeah,
Yeah.
totally, guys. Well, with Sonic Forces coming out in about 3 weeks from this
Oh
week.
boy, everyone's excited about Sonic Forces.
This is a really weird story. First, promoting the game, there is a partnership with Sonic and Hooters.
Hooters. You guys might know
Whoa,
what it is.
okay.
Hooters.
This is
chili
Tokyo
dogs.
Hooters. So
Yes.
there is a Hooters in Japan.
Yes, there is.
There are more. There
That
are
is
multiple
weird.
Hooters.
Yep.
It's a chain, just like
Yep.
it is here. Look at this image. Just look
Is there
upon
one
it.
is there one in Roppongi? Because
Um,
it feels like there would be one in Roppongi.
So the only
That looks like a
places,
good chili dog.
Working with this, on this collaboration are in Shinjuku, Nishiguchi, Ginza, and
Okay.
Nakasaka. So they're
All right.
all in
Focusing
Tokyo.
on the important stuff.
They are in I would say tourist destination areas.
Sure.
What this
oh my god.
what this
Sonic
$12
chili dog.
$12 chili dog.
just everyone looks just gaze into the eyes of
Whoa.
how that's you didn't want it. Just gaze into the eyes of
Not
how
for our
sad
eyes.
these people look. So what this collaboration is, the people who have gone to it have only funny things to say about it is, well, for 1,100 yen you get a chili dog, some fries, vegetables. It's just like a teaspoon of coleslaw, a
Dang.
blue
American.
drink, which is just like a blue citrus soda. And they only serve it from 3 to 5 for some reason. They like don't
Dude,
want
gotta go fast.
That's
Gotta
rush
go
hour.
fast.
That's, yeah, you gotta go fast.
It's
for
like
that.
Gotta go
Black Rock
fast.
Wednesday says in chat, gotta go fast to Hooters.
to
Yeah.
Hooters.
To Hooters.
Run there right now on your feet.
Interesting.
Across the ocean.
The other pathetic things about this are that the decor for this are just cutouts, just like on the stairs. And it's also Halloween themed, so the Halloween decorations are just
What
like
the heck?
Sonic.
Wow,
And
damn.
it's very, very funny if you look at the photos.
That's
and then,
a lot of themes to smash together into a Hooters, I feel like.
And the last thing I want to mention that I really want to see, and it's got to be up on Instagram soon, like as soon as this collaboration
Oh,
starts.
my
if you can.
God.
It starts like our time yesterday. It started. There is a special dance that the Hooters waitresses will do to this song.
Oh, to the Sonic
to,
theme
the,
song?
to the new Sonic theme song.
So not like
fist bump?
Fist
not
bump.
like a Hilltop
Yeah.
Zone situation.
No, it's
not
like
a
think like Fist Bump has is I think it's who's the singer? I think it's someone like it's like I think it's like Brandon Urie or someone does the song
God.
for Sonic Forces and it's Fist Bump. It was someone like more punk. It was a more punk band. I forgot the lead singer.
Sonic Forces,
but-
everyone.
Sonic Forces. It's like
Ruining
Fist
food around.
Bump.
Faster, gotta go faster. Remember that song? It's
Yep.
from the animated
Yeah.
series.
Yep,
They,
I
should
remember
just,
it.
they should just use that forever.
Do that.
Forever and ever.
Black Rock Wednesday say, did they throw coins at people too?
I would
Listen,
hope
in
so.
Sonic it was rings.
Yeah.
And, well, there's some
Ding,
implications
ding.
there,
I'm
but...
That's the implication, and I'm really excited to see those sweet. I guess no, Vine is dead, isn't it?
Vine is dead.
Vine is dead.
Those
dead.
sweet Snapchats.
Yeah.
Instagram stories.
Get him to
you
us,
mean.
Tokyo.
Yeah. Anyway, we have one final story for y'all. Blizzard has finally decided to sue the pants off the Chinese bootleg of Overwatch.
Yes.
Yeah.
We will now refer to it as Foverwatch.
Wow, how long did it take you to figure that one?
It took me like 2 seconds.
Sure.
So, this game it's got balls. The news broke, I think, like a couple days
Wow,
ago.
look at that.
It's bad. Like, I think that it's just funny because not only did they like completely just rip off Overwatch, they've got Sephiroth, like Arrow in there. They've got like,
Dude, I love
they
Pigtail
totally
Diva.
do.
yeah,
I'm pretty down
it's
with that,
basically
actually.
like Miku, every streamer girl ever. Like,
yeah, there's some like
Diva.
League of Legends I see.
And, like,
too.
Mercy's there with
yeah,
no
Mercy's just straight up there with no
Mercy's
pants.
Yeah. Wow.
No pants, Mercy.
Yay.
Look, China understands what we want. That Overwatch will not give us. Pantsless Mercy, Pigtail Diva,
well, the biggest
Panda Winston,
yes.
which is fantastic. This
It's,
Winston.
it's
I
terrible.
believe this
weird.
game has. There's like been different iterations
Yes,
of this game.
there have been
for,
multiple
for
iterations.
like since Overwatch has come out. So
Right.
basically for like a whole year.
The biggest difference is that this is only for the
This is a mobile
iOS
game,
and,
yeah.
And
it's a mobile
Android.
game, but also that it only became available in the US in June. So
Yeah.
it was only.
Oh,
for
it's
us being like,
available
"Oh,
in.
what
It
this?"
is,
It's
Yeah.
available in the. Oh, I'm gonna play
it's
that.
Started
basically-
litigation.
Blizzard is basically like tearing it off the
I
store
mean, they
already.
kinda
So
have to.
Yeah.
if you want to get Overwatch, get it now.
Get it now, or
Oof.
you'll never see it. Ever.
Well, guys, if we missed some news and you wanted to let us know about something, let us know, tweet us, or comment below. We want to hear all the news that we might have missed. But now it's time for our hot takes, y'all.
Why would it
Don't
be
you
a
think
hot
it should be
cake?
a hot cake in the hot takes animation?
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's just for pun's sake.
Which
How
is
does what?
it's another name for pancakes.
Hot
So
cakes.
yeah,
I guess.
yeah, hot
Yes,
Hotcakes,
and,
I like
that's
that.
how the news goes. So my hot take for this week is that I'm really into Recovering from MMO Junkie. They're finally getting. I think we're in episode 3. They're finally getting to the point where the girl in game, in real life, has encountered the guy that she's talking to.
It's
in
Lily
real- in the
San.
game,
Yeah, in the game. Yeah.
And it's like I have a cute meet, and I'm just really excited for her to like learn how to be a human again, and it's just really cute. It's a good show. I don't even play MMOs, and I'm sure if you do, it would just even speak to you louder. Just watch it; it's great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I watched the first episode of Ruby Volume 5, which dropped
Woo!
on Saturday. Yup,
Yeah.
Saturday on Rooster Teeth. The biggest thing for me is because we were catching, like, because I was revisiting the series, the earlier portions of the series while we were kind of putting our show together for the pre-Ruby marathon. I'm struck by how much better the animation has gotten. And not that the animation was bad in the first couple seasons, it was really good considering they really didn't have any money, but it's just so beautiful now. And it's such an interesting sort of CGI, 3D, 2D hybrid blend, and the fights look awesome as
I
always.
think it's one of those shows where in the beginning it's really more of like we got to test the waters, see how it is,
Yeah.
and now it's become a thing where they can put money behind it and
Totally.
feel confident about putting money behind
Yeah.
it. And also they're not. I don't know if they're still using Poser, like they used to.
Yeah, probably not.
Yeah, and the animation department was like 2 people back
Yeah,
then.
no,
2,
they
3
have a
people.
whole
Yeah.
Rooster Teeth animation department now,
so-
so and it really shows. It does. And
That's
it's
awesome.
fun to well, and again, narratively it really does kind of follow that Harry Potter structure. So I guess this is kind of a spoiler if you haven't been caught up on RWBY, where the first few seasons it's very much they're at school. The third season is a great tournament arc, and then at the end of that season, it's like, well, we are not going to be at school anymore. 'Cause,
Now we got to fight Voldemort.
Yep. Totally.
For mine this week, actually, I only saw the first part of Digimon Try. I didn't even realize that like it started like so much like more
It
of it.
started
I
like
like
2 years ago or something.
Yeah, and like I totally like missed it, and I finally was like
You
started
hadn't seen any of Digimon Try?
just the first 3
Oh, okay.
episodes, and I didn't realize I don't know where I've been, dude, but like I was like, oh crap! So I just been like catching up on that, and it's so good. It makes me so happy.
It's really
it
good.
Made
It's
me
also-
cry.
Yeah,
I love it
yeah.
so much.
It's very sad in a very like melancholy way, which is
Exactly.
like, I'm an adult and I get this.
but
Like
it's
kind
satisfying
of
because of the nostalgia factor. Like,
Totally.
yeah.
It's so good, and like I don't know, I'm excited for it to continue, and it just it's so pretty too.
might
Like
be-
it's really well drawn and stuff.
This might be the last. There's
The last
there
chunk,
might be
huh?
last. This might be the last chunk. It
Installment.
just
Yeah.
came
It
just
out.
came out. I
Yeah.
saw that.
So
Yeah.
it might be the last chunk. So that might be the last of Digimon, at least
Whoa.
how we know it. Of how we know it
Yeah.
with the original cast. So
Yeah.
Ugh, take those feels. in.
Man, so my hot take this week is actually about Boruto. I'll keep it short.
Whoa.
For the past few weeks, I've been complaining about how shitty the filler is, and I feel like last week they finally moved into an arc where I'm like, okay, Kagura's getting some semblance of a character. We're not just promoting Shinobi Bolt or whatever Bout. Shinobi Bout.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of excited to see where it goes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I'm gonna counter that and say that that is it's still kind of fillery. The one interesting thing about that was the fact that like the main bad guy is from like Kisame's tribe, which is why he has all the markings of Kisame, obviously. So that's gonna be pretty interesting to see. My hot take is that I started watching Dragon Ball Super, which I was curious. And it's actually pretty good.
Yeah, right?
The story, like I've read the manga, the new stuff that Akira Toriyama made, but then now, like even in the actual show, they put in a lot of stuff that actually makes it better. There's like a whole bunch of the usual like good old Dragon Ball Z tropes, and the animation is freaking gorgeous. Like so, I mean, yeah, I might actually finish Dragon Ball Super. Might get back into it again. Pretty excited.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
that's my
Super's
hot take.
great, dude. How far did you get?
I got to.
Have you gotten through the movies yet? Like, 'cause the
I-
first story arc is kind of just rehashing
Yeah.
Battle of
Yeah.
Gods.
I got to the point where they just beat the Dark Goku.
Goku. Oh,
okay.
you're pretty close
Yeah,
to
Yeah.
the new arc.
Ooh, the
nice.
Goku Black arc was fun. That
Yeah,
was fun.
and then I did, and the last episode I saw was like the Dr. Slump crossover episode.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about
yeah,
that.
that was obviously just like some fan service and stuff, and it was pretty funny. It's pretty
Yeah.
good. Everything is about it is like surprisingly good,
Yeah.
but it's so
Good.
This hat is for me and Michelle.
We're allowed to not all watch the same thing.
That is true.
Yo,
That's
Iffy,
very
what do you
true.
take about Dragon Ball?
Would you like Dragon Ball?
If he's on the couch,
Iffy loves Dragon Ball.
he said it's amazing.
It's
Iffy,
amazing.
we
What's
woke
up?
Iffy from his slumber, and he
Yeah.
said that Dragon Ball's amazing.
He said, it's amazing. What's up?
Well, guys, let us know what your hot takes are. But now it's time for next time on.
We're so good at this.
Wow,
So good.
We are
So
pros.
good.
Professional.
So good, y'all.
It's
So
like
good.
this isn't our first time.
Right? Well, guys, we are going to, like you said, we're going to do a fall season review for you all in like a couple weeks. And then
Next week.
Next
Good
week.
job, Matt.
Is it?
Words.
Oh, I thought next week's all.
Nope,
Guys,
next
I've
week.
been,
After that.
I have been
The show
here
after that is
in a
gonna be
time
on
chamber.
Actual Halloween, so
So next week we'll get from you guys which anime you want us to continue to review. But this week we're going to continue Shokugeki no Soma. Yeah.
So we are at episode 3, technically, right?
Yes.
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 Like, was that last week? We kind of got like 1 and 2 mashed up. I didn't watch that yet.
Ah.
Episode 3, the Moon Festival.
listen, guys,
listen.
I just really wanted to eat everything that I mean.
Yeah.
That was every
Yeah.
episode. Okay.
I
But,
started
like,
watching an empty stomach,
Those
and that was
freaking black pepper buns that he was
That
making,
sounds so good.
and then when he had the genius idea, spoilers, to like chop up the extra dough into noodles and then
Yeah.
just put the filling in it for the people that didn't want to have a whole hot pepper bun because they're like really
they're just
filling.
for
and
The
Oh,
guy
yeah.
who walks by specifically says,
One little
maybe
noodles.
not a bun, but I'd love something that would go down quickly and easily. I'm like, dude, that is way too specific.
Yeah.
Very
Well, we have these noodles.
These slippery ass noodles will go down.
Because shonen.
I didn't really actually. I didn't know that whole like sticking. It's like the buns. That's
It's a real
under
oven.
the
Yeah.
thing. I didn't
Yeah.
know it was a real thing. I had to look it up. I was like,
Yeah.
is this fake
I
animation?
will have
No,
like I
it's
have
real.
learned a lot of stuff from this.
Yeah,
show.
seriously.
Yeah.
Every time I watch this show, I end up looking up some new food fact, and then I go
Totally.
into like this
Yeah.
whole like Wikipedia hole of just like culinary devices and stuff.
Yeah.
The other thing that I loved about this episode was Alice and her attempted
Yeah.
adventures
She's
into,
so bad.
into gastronomy, where she
Yeah.
makes the non-flavored lollipops. Like,
Yeah, so
Crystallized. It's like it tastes like naan. It's
Yeah.
like, well,
well, it
we
does.
don't really need any
in
of
the
this.
episode, Alice is just kind of shown as she's a brilliant at making food, but like
Yes.
she doesn't know
Yeah.
how to run a restaurant or
No,
anything.
no,
She-
no.
she's-
messes up everything, all the ordering and everything.
She's like the trope of like the really rich foreigner who likes common life but like sees it as a hobby.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
doesn't
She totally
really
is.
get
She's
it.
like,
Yeah.
how quaint the common
Yeah.
people.
Food on sticks. Stuff like that.
So also, we talked about the noodles before. Soma coins it his nanchate tansu noodles, which is, I guess in Taiwanese it's danji, but they say tansu in Japanese. Anyway, but the nanchate, as you remember, is from the nanchate pork. It's
Yep.
like it's a joke, like it's not a real one, it's a fake one. So his version of the noodles are not exactly how they're made traditionally, but we are definitely gonna make those, right?
I would
Yeah.
love
I would
that.
definitely
Yeah.
love
Okay.
to
I would
taste
love
See,
it.
that.
this is the trap. This is the trap. Every time we see something, we're like, oh man, I can make that. We probably can't.
These ones are really easy though. I actually looked up how to make these. They're not that hard. So,
Do you have a Chinese iron oven?
No, the noodles.
Oh,
So you
the
take
noodles.
The noodles.
Right,
a
right.
light shrimp broth, which is like really common in a lot of Southeast Asian food. Like it's something that I know how to make anyway from Vietnamese
Yeah.
food. The noodles you'd have to make yourself. You just make some dough and make sure you put all the stuff in it, and then you did green onions and then ground beef with seasoning.
I mean, we could do that.
I
think
feel
that's
like
normal.
I mean,
We
like,
could
cause
do
Cooking
that.
episodes coming,
I made
guys.
like the nanchate pork for like Michelle and Max and myself,
Oh,
Yeah, it
and
came
like
out pretty well.
Yeah.
they're definitely catered to make those like actual foods, and like
Yeah.
it came out pretty well. It was
Yeah,
pretty,
it didn't
was
rip my
pretty
clothes
tasty.
off, but it was
Yeah.
pretty good.
Yeah.
I mean,
It was pretty
I
good,
ate like
yeah.
a good. I ate like half of it.
Yeah.
but
And
I
it
also
can be
just
made many
eat a lot
different ways.
'cause
I had
I'm
another
glutton.
one previously a couple months ago from my other friend. God, we're such anime cooking nerds.
Yeah, we are,
that
totally.
it was quite different than yours, but it was also very good. So I mean, there's
Yeah.
a lot of ways to make these foods that are not real yet, but you can make them real.
Yeah.
I made a
Yeah.
DiGiorno pizza in which we
All
just
right,
basically put
Getting
the
off topic.
DiGiorno and then put
Yeah.
Dio on it and ran.
Oh, okay. All right.
Just in chat, Fizgiz, he says, "Oh my God, get an Omaha steak." Fun fact: I used to work at an Omaha Steaks.
Oh.
Yeah, I used to sell
I know
very
which one it
expensive
is.
Did you guys
steaks
know that
in
Max
Torrance.
by your house?
Yes, absolutely.
He's Max Omaha
Yeah,
song
so
from the
I
Omaha
used to
clan.
be, I used to be a Omaha Steaks peddler. You know?
He's the
Like with a little cart.
senpai.
Yeah.
Oh, apparently FizzGig was also.
Oh wow!
An
See?
Omaha Steaks
Because
fan.
the only people that ever know about Omaha Steaks are the people that have really old
true.
white grandparents or worked at an Omaha
Yeah,
Steaks.
because I'm like, why would I go into this random store in the mall to buy a steak? You buy those at the grocery
They're in
store.
boxes. They're good steaks.
Well, I
don't
didn't
get me
know
wrong.
that. It was just confusing as
Yeah.
a consumer.
Yeah, it's a very confusing concept. But it was a pretty interesting. No
Yeah.
one came in, so it was a great job.
Aw.
I love that.
I think we
man,
should
dude.
have Halloween. Our special Halloween episode is 2 weeks away.
Yes.
2 weeks.
I think we should have special like Halloween anime foods. If you guys want to bring something,
I think that'd be really awesome.
Even if they're just like shitty
Anime
cupcakes you bought from
treats.
Ralph's and change the thing on top. Let's do that too.
I'm into that.
I'm super into
Candy
that.
corn, the
Yeah.
best.
I'm really excited for the Halloween
candy
special.
in
guys.
Halloween.
So it was a good episode. Did you guys?
Yeah,
like
I
it?
loved
What'd
it.
you
I mean,
Oh my God.
Yeah,
I
loved
love.
it.
Here's the thing:
I
it's
just
like
want
it's there's with this show, it's like it's kind of on an episode basis. It's like it's very formulaic, but it's still so enjoyable to watch because I feel like I actually learn about cooking, and the characters are so.
Yeah.
I love the characters.
Yeah,
so
the characters
much.
are super interesting, and it takes all of those shonen anime tropes and puts them into this world that is cooking where
it's way more
super
interesting.
ridiculous
Yeah.
and way more interesting. So yeah, it's great.
It's something to explore that's new, which
Totally,
is amazing.
yeah,
And also,
I
it
agree.
actually has some really good conflict with like Kuga and just the fact that Kuga's a little
Yes.
shit.
Yeah.
the worst, you guys.
Yeah, he is terrible. So Emma, you probably like him.
I
I'm
find
Yeah,
assuming.
I
like-
love that. he's the worst, but he's such a great villain. I love
You
him.
always like the worst people.
I do, actually.
I feel like there's
He's a
a
good villain.
definite like cooking mama / like Shokugeki game that like needs to happen.
It needs to
They
happen.
just have not gotten it together.
Instead of
Maybe
even
one
better
day.
than Mama, it's like someone like explosions on it.
Oh, actually, there's a Soma iOS game that I used to play.
What?
Yeah, it was like, I forget what it was. It was like a card game or like a puzzle
Card
game or
game.
something. It wasn't very good. It was terrible. 100% terrible, but it exists.
I
And
want
that's
to
Wow.
play a good one.
I want to play
please.
that game. Well, guys, let us know what you think about this episode. If you haven't seen Shokugeki no Soma, guys, check it out. And the manga is really good too. If you like want to read it, it's also very, very good.
Yeah,
But-
quickly, Coop W. Wilson in chat, who's afraid to start the show. I would suggest that you not watch the show on an empty stomach.
That's true.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
That's
true.
the only
That is
thing
a
to
mistake.
fear.
But
Yeah.
it's a good show, and you should watch it.
Yeah. Well, guys, our main topic for this week is Voltron, Legendary Defender, Season 4 or Season 3 and a half.
Well,
three and a half,
actually,
technically.
so let me tell you guys a little something.
Ba-da-ba-ba.
I have had the chance to interview Joaquim Dos Santos and Laura Montgomery, who are the executive producer and showrunner on this show, respectively, multiple times about this series. And really, this is only the first half of season 2. These are 26-episode seasons.
Yeah.
That makes so much
makes
sense.
so much
So much sense.
Oh
They
my
are
god.
meant
It ends in a weird place.
They are
Yeah.
meant to be consumed as 26-episode seasons.
Yep.
As all of your sort of classic late 90s, early 2000 anime series were.
Yeah.
Netflix, you effing it up for us.
Yep.
Yeah.
You know, the first and second season, though, the way that they broke down, I
It
thought it was
felt a
fine.
little
Yeah.
more
It's
It's this
natural.
season
Yeah.
that's
It's these
unnatural.
last
This
two
season,
seasons.
and on top of that, it's like, so there was sort of a nice halfway point with season 1 to break it into seasons 1 and season 2.
Yeah.
But with this one, even at the halfway mark where we're at, it ends on a major cliffhanger. We're
It
not
does,
getting into
yeah.
spoilers just yet. We will warn you, but
We will warn you guys.
this season ends in a, what?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kind of place.
Yeah, it's just sort of like
And not in like
but
a
why?
not in like a cliffhanger, because like a season cliffhanger is usually, oh my gosh, everyone has been killed kind of
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah.
Or
Yeah.
this major person died, and now what are we gonna do?
Mm-hmm.
This was very different than that, but we'll get into that in just a little bit. So first, let's give you guys a little crash course on Voltron
History
itself.
lesson.
So
The great
Voltron,
history.
Defender of the Universe, originally began airing in syndication on September 10th, 1984. The first season, Voltron Lion Force, was based on the anime series Beast King Go Lion, while the second season, Vehicle Team Voltron, was adapted from the completely unrelated series Armored Fleet Diagram 15. So that's fun.
Oh, wait, I know that.
Yes.
Wow.
So creators Peter Keefe and John Teichman of World Events Production had no way of translating the series from Japanese. They literally just got the Japanese footage, watched it in Japanese, and were like, we don't know what's going on.
Oh my god.
So we're just going to make it up.
Exactly.
No.
Sounds great.
That is literally how Voltron came
That
to
is
be. Was
exactly
they
how
got
Voltron made.
footage for a series and we're like, nah, there's like pilots in space. We sort of get it.
Yeah.
So they just
Oh my God.
made it up. The one thing I will say that they knowingly changed was Takashi Shirogane's death. He was named Sven in the original Voltron series. And instead of killing him, he went to Space Hospital and he got better, thankfully, because he had a twin brother who showed up later in the series.
He
Whoa,
was
what the heck?
Twin brother.
Hey, I'd much rather like have the dude recover from Space Hospital than just be like, he had a twin.
Yeah.
And now he's going to do
you know
exactly the
what?
same thing he did and replace him.
Yeah, that's
you know?
that. You know what? That is a good point, Max. So here's an interesting thing. World Events Production wasn't actually meant to adapt Go Lion. They were meant to adapt future Robo Daltonius or Mirai Robo Daltonius for North American television, but they asked Toei for the footage of the ones with the lions.
Yeah.
And they sent them Go Lion instead.
They're like, whatever. They don't
gotta be
notice.
Hey,
specific.
look.
Lion.
Not
Send them
bad.
whatever.
I feel like
pretty
lucky for them.
Yeah.
Every single like Sentai or like team-based anime is like got
Kinda
the
the
same
same,
5
yeah.
colors. Good
But
for them.
Look,
amazing.
after seeing that picture, I would go with the one with the lions.
Yeah.
Like 100%.
Oh, yeah.
Those
Go
lion
lions.
robots hella cool.
Those
Oh,
are too low,
yeah.
yeah.
Oh no, totally. And that was their reaction. Was they basically got the footage for Go Lion and they're like, this isn't what we wanted, but this is better.
Whatever.
I love it.
Yeah.
we're just gonna make it up anyway.
Good enough.
Hey, for just the fact that like I don't know if you guys know of like the really old animated like sci-fi stuff. Like this is basically what they did with Silverhawks anyway.
Yeah.
Oh, totally.
Basically.
Yeah.
Basically,
Oh,
So
yeah.
it's kind of
Max,
like
when you
it makes
say
sense.
old, you're like, oh,
Old for
1986.
them. Old for them.
I'd like to point out that nerd says that the history of Voltron sounds like its own anime.
It really,
It really totally
is.
does.
it really does.
Maybe it's like the next arc of Shirobako. We don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You never know.
Or maybe it's a Netflix original.
Oh,
wow.
Someone like a Netflix
Dang.
promo.
Much like Voltron Legendary Defender itself, which is a Netflix animated original series produced by DreamWorks and animated by Studio Mir, which is the Korean animation studio that worked on most of the episodes of Legend of Korra. They also have another series on Netflix right now called Lego Elves Secrets of Elvendale.
Yes.
I've been kind
That
of
has-
wanting to watch that. I don't know why.
Really cute.
Yeah.
know?
They're not Lego-y at
I have
all,
seen it.
which is
There's
weird.
no
It looks
Legos in
a
it at
little
all.
No.
It's just based on the mythology that's around the Lego elf sets.
Yeah.
But they're not Legos.
Oh,
So
the legend of
It's actually based on
A
something.
tidbit is, did you know that like the elves from Lego are made to basically attract females?
It's working, Lego.
So like Ninjago is for boys and the Lego elves is for girls.
It's fucking
Yeah.
working.
Okay, but
Okay.
they need to make a Bionicles. Like they need to make
Right,
a Bionicles
right,
anime and
series.
make it really dark.
like a real one. 'Cause they made like videos of that.
I would
but,
be.
like,
I
All
would
the
be into
humans
that.
are dead.
I'd totally be into that. But yeah, Lego Elves. It's actually really pretty cute, and
All right.
implicitly, I like it because I like the animation style of this studio.
Ah.
Interestingly, Studio Mir's work has rarely been seen outside of Korea. The only thing that ever aired in South Korea of their work was like part of the first season of Korra, and it had a very, very quiet release.
Oh, weird.
I mean,
very-
not seen a lot in Korea, you mean?
In Korea,
Yeah.
yeah.
But I'm
yeah, sorry,
assuming that
inside
their
Korea.
studio probably did a lot of like in betweens for
Sure.
a bunch
Sure,
of anime,
absolutely.
right?
Yeah, they've done all kinds of work, and some sort of like interstitial animated things for South Korean programming. So I mean, they do a lot of work. And Lauren and Joaquin, who are the showrunner and executive producer on the show, they have credited actually a lot of the stuff that's kind of happened visually, and even some visual stuff visually that has informed the narrative to the animation studio itself. Actually, really, really funny story. So in the last season, or the first part of this season, really, when we were introduced to Lotor's generals, all
Right.
the like Lady Halfgara amazingness.
Yeah.
When they originally named those characters, they were named Esor, Eknalb, and Itarad. And it took one of the Korean animators in the studio in South Korea to go, those are the names of the Golden Girls backwards.
Oh my god! That's
Korea,
amazing!
Korea on their Golden Girls knowledge.
Amazing.
Represent.
Yeah.
Hashtag blessed.
So anyway, so both Joaquim Dos Santos and Lauren Montgomery worked on both Avatar and Legend of Korra. Joaquim Dos Santos was an animation director on it. Lauren Montgomery did storyboarding and then eventually came into a position of more prominence working on Legend of Korra. They are locked in for 78 episodes on Netflix.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, great, because I
Wait,
don't know what the hell's gonna
Yeah,
happen.
I want to know what
Yeah.
happened.
Wait,
Yeah.
including the ones that have already dropped.
No. We've
Additional.
already
Oh,
seen.
in addition to that.
No, sorry. Yes, including
Oh,
the
okay,
ones
okay.
we've already
Okay,
dropped.
gotcha,
Yeah, I thought
gotcha.
you were asking me in addition to. So
That's wild.
we've only seen 39 so far.
So it's
Yeah.
like half of the
Yeah.
arc.
Oh,
basically.
Exactly.
no.
Yeah. We're only about halfway through.
Oh,
So
it feels so
Wow.
fast already. Though.
I know.
What
I
the
know.
heck?
But
Oh my God.
that because of the way that the Netflix schedule is and how Netflix again is trying to make that big push towards having more original
Right.
programming, and they're trying to drop things in smaller chunks so that they're delivering original content every single week.
Yeah, more for day.
That's part of why I think the narrative sometimes feels a little clunky.
Yeah.
But
Right.
if you watch like this season and the last season back to back, it's a really good story arc coming to kind of a weird halfway point, which
Yeah.
I will
Totally.
admit.
Yeah.
I guess when I watched it, I have to admit I was not caught up. I saw the first season. I really liked the first season, but there was nothing that necessarily made me like continue to watch it because I thought it was going to be way more formulaic than it actually was.
Yeah.
To its credit. And so when I watched it from season 2 to season 4, season 2 from the first one totally makes sense. Season 3 and 4, I can kind of see why they broke it down that way, but even still, it doesn't it definitely does not gel together at all.
No, unfortunately, this is one that I think you really needed to see all 26 episodes air together because this one does end in a very clunky place.
There's just so many. I think, should we hit the spoiler button?
Well, hold on, before we do that.
Okay,
hold on.
Before we do that, just so you guys know, Voltron season 4 Netflix just released on Saturday. Just some real quick facts.
On
Friday. It picks up where the last scene's left off, where Shido is back on the team. He's back, question marks. All the lines are there. The Gara Empire is starting to fall, and now they have to, just generally speaking, they have to unite everybody to fight the last kind of bastions that are left of the Gara Empire together. But some stuff happens.
It's true. This is basically the forming of the Rebel Alliance
part
100%. Of the Voltron story.
And I think that's very, very exciting to see all the characters come back from previous episodes. Which is great.
It's all coming
Actually,
tying together.
Now that I think about it, it's very much Star Wars.
It is exactly Star Wars. It's very much Star Wars.
It is exactly Star Wars.
Crazy.
And even Joaquin yesterday, because Lauren and Joaquin were on the after show at AfterBuzz, which I did last night, and Joaquin was like, I mean, I hate to bring up Star Wars, but it's pretty much Star Wars.
But it's great, and I think it works as like a story told across multiple galaxies, and you get a more epic scale, I think, this season than the previous seasons.
Totally.
Especially with everyone coming back together, and all those like really cute, like the Little Mermaid people come back, and that's really really cute.
And the guy that Norman Reedus did the voice of, the like rebel people that they met. And Fu Foral, you are correct. They were planning on bringing Shiro back, but they were kind of forced to bring him back a little faster than they wanted to.
It was pretty fast.
I think he's like the most popular character.
Well, I mean, according to one of my favorite episodes of the season, which was the Voltron show, when Koran is threatening to get rid of everybody in the cast.
He's on basically drugs, like space meth or something.
Yeah, he's basically mind controlled.
By a bug.
So we are getting into spoiler
territory.
Spoilers.
Imagine there's a button here.
Spoilers.
So, I mean, listen, I still really, really enjoyed this season, even though it doesn't feel like a season. That's my biggest issue with it, is the fact that it does not feel like it has a beginning, middle, and end. It just kind of starts and kind of stops.
It's just going.
In a weird way, the way that they break it down, at least the way that I watched it, seeing how I just binge watched the whole thing, is the fact that they just take these kind of important arcs, but for individual characters.
Yes.
Yeah, totally. Totally.
Like the first one was
Keith.
Season 3 was Keith.
Yeah. And then season 4 now is
Paige. Yeah.
So, the fact that you kind of break it down like that, I can accept it.
And Lance last season.
Yeah, it kind of
and Lance last season too, for sure.
Oh yeah.
But Lance's whole thing is more of a developmental thing.
I feel like Lance and Hunk have had the least development of the lions.
I think Hunk is
I think they just have really suffered.
Hunk just had his episode where he cooked in the mall for a little bit.
Yeah,
and that was kind of it.
While watching this season, it was one of those things where I was like, oh yeah, Hunk is not just a cooking guy; he's also an engineer.
Yeah, and he's
and
he's really smart. So every time that Hunk does come back into the spotlight, you're like, oh yeah, I will agree that I think Hunk has gotten the least story. Lance has gotten a lot better since the last story arc for me, this sort of season 3, where because the thing that I found really interesting about Lance in the previous season and carried over into this season as well, when we see him having that pep talk with Allura when she's like, I don't know what to do, I can't do this, and he's like, yeah, you totally can, is that he is the one who adjusted the most easily to switching lions, which was really interesting and not necessarily something you would have expected from Lance.
And I just want to say, and this is not, I think the story development of that is great, and the fact they still keep the colors and stuff, but it still bugs me because I am Sentai hardcore. You know, and so the fact that he is in the red line,
in
but
the
he's
wrong
still wearing
color,
the blue suit. Just give him a red suit.
Actually, I knew that fact in my head, but then when I saw the opening for this season, I was like, wait, which line is where is everybody? Oh god, they're wearing different suits.
Why don't they just make Keith wear the black suit so that Lance can have everybody can show the suit?
Because the 80s.
Shiro's taller, right?
Look,
Shiro is a lot taller.
His costume for a super dope ninja costume.
It's Assassin's Creed.
Yeah. That's 100% what I would do.
Yeah.
Good on you, Keith.
I do feel that for me, there was one episode that I was just like, this is the worst episode, and that was literally the Voltron.
No,
that was
that episode.
Because it was Emma's favorite, just so you guys know.
Yeah, I loved it.
That's such a filler episode.
It was
though.
literally the worst filler episode I've ever seen. I was like, okay, they were building up like all this
Oh,
backstory
wow.
with Pidge, and then I was just
Wasn't
like,
that bad.
what the hell is this?
And then it took a break.
Well,
As part of a season, though, a 6 episode
26
season,
episode season.
that was maybe the one comedic one in a long, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, but the thing
Yeah.
is, we were watching
Yeah.
it in these spurts. So to us,
Yeah.
I
I
was
don't-
like,
yeah,
out
and-
of 6 episodes, that one was a garbage
Exactly.
one.
I just loved the episode Space Mall so much that I was
love
just
Space
That
Mall.
was
love
good.
Space Mall.
Space
That
Mall.
I
That
was
was
Mall's
better
pretty
than
dope.
that was
I
that I
better
was
than
delighted to
Voltron
see
show.
them come back to the Space Mall for
They
the
got a
Voltron
cow.
show. And
Yeah.
and
the
the
best
it was
part.
it was kind of the Voltron take on, if you guys remember in book 3 of Avatar, Ember Island Players, which is kind of a recap of everything that's happened so far in the whole show. And that was very much what this episode was. And Lauren and Wakeem even said that they really did this episode for themselves to be like, okay, where are we in the story now?
Yeah.
And again, as part of a 26 episode season,
Yeah.
makes total sense. Unfortunately, we're getting it as a
Yeah.
standalone episode in a 6 episode season. So I understand your complaints.
Yeah.
Which
I-
even
Yeah.
though like that is, I mean, I think the problem is when you binge watch it, it very much feels like this kind of all interconnected Game of Thrones story. Because
Yeah.
even when they're at the mall, they're at the mall with a purpose.
Sure.
And
Yeah.
I think the Voltron show,
They did
the
have
only
a purpose, but
thing
it's-
is,
the
it kind
purpose is
the
very
was,
watered
supposed to-
down.
It's supposed to be like PR, but that's like not a very good excuse
No,
for it.
yeah, it's
And
it's a
it could've
recap
been
episode.
Yeah,
It
It's
is
definitely
100%.
It is.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
to totally balance it out, that came right after a really heavy arc for Pidge.
Oh,
we are in spoiler
so
territory,
good.
so
Yeah.
basically the
Oh
whole
my
episode,
God.
just to recap.
Okay.
Just to recap my tears.
Okay,
Yeah.
but like time out for just a
Okay,
second
okay.
because did any of you get spoiled for that?
No,
I did not.
no.
I did
I,
not.
I, I knew they weren't gonna kill him. Well, okay, I saw the
did not.
thumbnail.
I did not. I
the
thought they were-
thumbnail. Okay, the thumbnail spoiled it for me because when I
who's
saw
in
the
it?
thumbnail,
I
Matt's
didn't
in
look
it.
it up.
Yeah.
So it's
I didn't
kind of
look at
like
the
you look at the
thumbnail.
thumbnail and you're like,
Netflix, you
what
fucked
am I?
up.
Netflix.
I know
How
he's
dare.
alive.
Yeah.
But like, if you weren't spoiled for it, for me, what was going through my brain was, because I was like doing other work while watching Voltron.
Yeah.
Ooh, sorry. And basically, it was like, oh, something like she's like, okay, I'm looking at my brother. I'm like, oh man, they're really dragging this out. And I'm just like, whatever. Then she gets to like, she's like, oh no, and I'm like, what? And I looked at the TV and I saw like a memorial, and I was like, oh, did
Right,
they
yeah,
get?
right.
And like,
And-
I literally gasped because I was like, this is a fucking Netflix
That's
Voltron
heavy.
cartoon.
And
yeah.
Are they
It's
gonna
just-
get this dark? Because it would have been a very strong choice either
It
way.
would have been.
Right.
If he
I was okay
dead, it
with
would've been
I like
fine.
if he was dead I would have been like that was great, but I still liked how this worked too because
Yeah.
I thought it was a trap too
Yeah.
after
Yeah,
that
yeah.
too. I was like, oh, this is clearly a trap, and then I was like, oh, there was another guy. Like, oh my god, you know.
But the way they played it out, the drama of it, it's
was
like you,
so
you
real. It was
already
real.
you already got the emotional effect of him being dead, of Matt being
Yes.
dead. You already felt all the feelings. So for him
Yeah.
to come back, it
And-
wasn't like that was a waste. It was like,
No,
oh,
it wasn't.
I
No.
really
It
wanted
it
him
was
to be
such
alive.
a great
And
scene.
then
I
Like,
feel like it's because like they show the memorial and then they have the tracker as she's getting closer to like the grave itself. It starts like beeping louder.
It's
Yes,
just
exactly.
so
so
perfectly
tense.
and she goes through. She
animated.
she's there. She realized it's real. It, like there's a moment where Paige has accepted that is real, and she starts mourning in that moment.
Yeah.
And it's just so heartbreaking.
But she could see through her tears.
So you
that
can't.
it was a message the whole
What I'm trying
time.
to say,
Yeah.
you can't watch that shit and then be like, oh, I'm gonna compare the Voltron show to that because it's
Yeah,
just like
it's
a different.
true.
It is a
I think
weird. I
that-
think that is a big
Yeah.
tonal
I
change.
feel
hard.
like
It was a hard
that
transition.
episode for me was the strongest of this season. Like,
100%.
I,
Yeah.
I
Oh,
sat there
me
and
too.
cried
Me
thinking
too.
that Matt was dead.
I agree with you. I liked, I really loved that episode. As I say, I legitimately thought that Matt was dead, and then delighted that Matt was not dead because
Yeah.
he is my
Yeah.
new favorite
Oh,
character.
Matt's amazing.
Yeah.
I love it when he met Allura. And
I
he
know.
was like-
I really like. So I mean, like Lance's goofs about him being in love with Alora were just so much
That's
better.
really
with
good.
Yeah.
Michael.
When he's like
Like,
basically
in the
tears
background.
with his eyes.
I think that's already a gif. I just need to have
Yeah.
that as my background.
Okay,
so
so
good.
in the battle, did anyone notice when you're talking about the rebels and Matt's in
Yeah.
that same ship
Yes.
where they cut back and they're all like announcing the fighters in a very Star Wars-esque
Uh-huh.
manner?
Oh, yeah,
Now,
like
one of
Commander
them is
Olia.
Yeah, one of them is a frog, and he says
Yeah,
Roger.
yeah.
Did you guys realize
And there was a
that?
fox,
Like,
too.
yes,
Yeah,
it's
the
totally
main
a
person's
reference
a
to
fox.
Starfox.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was Star Fox. There was
I was
a
like,
fox and a
damn.
frog.
Yeah,
That
because
is some good Easter
Well,
eggs.
That's awesome.
The dog Commander Olia is actually a reference to Sherlock Hound, which is like an old anime series that like Hayao Miyazaki worked on
Yeah.
way back in the day.
That's
so yeah.
amazing.
That's crazy. crazy.
But the frog was definitely was.
Oh, it was absolutely
Yeah.
Starbucks
Flippy,
reference.
flippy,
Yeah.
flippy.
Well,
Yeah.
and another thing that that was really cool from that really good episode about Pidge and Matt that Lauren and Joaquin confirmed is if you look in the background in one of the shots, you can see Keith and Shiro like way in the background, and Keith is like in his garrison uniform because it's before he's been kicked out of the garrison, and this is all on that day when they were departing to go on that mission that they were lost on at the beginning.
Wait, where?
In the flashback.
In the flashback.
Yeah.
Okay, I see. Yeah,
Oh, I gotta go back, guys.
That's
I gotta go
hilarious.
watch
That's
this
dope.
shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is the thing is I understand that this series that this portion of the series felt like maybe we didn't really make a whole lot of progress, but there's enough little stuff sprinkled in there that I feel like there is a lot of story yet to come. And
Oh
I'm so
my god!
excited.
Just also the fact that like Lotor does what he does
I
at the
know.
end.
Yeah.
And
Oh, I know.
Because
Oh my
I honestly
God.
thought it was going to be reversed. Because I
Oh.
thought it was going to be
Yeah.
the team that comes
I
over
thought it was
and
going to be the
saves.
girls. Yeah, the
Yeah.
generals.
Oh, I
Yeah.
didn't think
And-
that at all. I thought it was
and-
I saw the
Lotor.
whole thing coming,
And also,
guys.
by the way, could they make it any more obvious that those are ships that transform into a human-esque robot?
Oh, I didn't notice that.
that.
You didn't notice that at
noticed
all?
it. I noticed
Those are
it.
very clearly legs. If you've ever played with like really old like Sentai toys,
They're very
Yeah.
things that look like they're things that look like legs look like legs that are
Shit.
ships, and they're always in the crotch.
Okay, so
Always in the crotch.
first of all,
Lucas, are we good to play this trailer? I'm gonna play this.
Just
Let's
see
play
what
it.
happens.
Let's
See what
play
happens.
yeah.
We're gonna have to
And then
We
type
might
this.
be playing a trailer. We might not be.
all right, let's look at the
There
trailer
it is.
For this
for
season,
season four.
that we just watched.
Yeah.
I think after this trailer, we have to address something very important that I think everyone just kind of has an idea of.
Friends
So what were you saying?
and allies.
Oh,
Is it-
or is it already still on? The last episode is called A New Defender.
Yeah.
And I was like,
Yeah.
okay, Lurker's gonna join the team, but it doesn't happen till the end of the episode. I was like, bullshit. I was so mad. It was like end of season. I was like, go to hell, Netflix.
Yeah, who's the new
that didn't
defender?
bother me.
Oh,
I mean,
Lord.
I think from the beginning, as soon as they introduced Lotor, me
Yeah.
and my husband sitting there, I was like, Lotor is gonna like betray his
Oh, of
dad.
course.
I knew
100%.
But I'm still not entirely convinced that Lotor is going to be a good guy.
I
you know
feel
what
that
I
way,
mean?
too.
He's a great character.
He's gonna find a moment in
Yeah.
which he's gonna screw
He's
everyone
gonna
over.
know. His
But
true
I'm
feelings.
I'm such a fan of the character of Lotor.
Dude, I
Okay.
love Lotor.
Do you think of Laura and Lot? So who are we gonna ship? Who's Lotor going with?
Who's Lotor?
Lotor's totally gonna be.
You're the
Well, I
Laura.
mean, Lotor in the
Paige would be amazing. That'd be
Lotor in
amazing.
the whole
Yeah.
series was
Horrible.
like in love with Alora. It's not really in love, but you know what I mean.
Right.
Like, in the
Well,
bad
it's
guy,
the
creepy kind of
rebel,
way.
the rebel chick. Well, no, that might be Keith actually.
I think Laura shipping milkshakes is my best thing of this
That's
season.
No, that was
Okay,
so
the fact-
I love
amazing.
that.
Yeah,
I
the fact that they
started
came
laughing.
back and addressed that there's still a cow on the ship
Yes.
is
Yeah.
all I really needed.
And that
Yeah,
aliens,
exactly.
people who are not Earth people, are like,
Freaked
"Oh, this milkshake's delicious. Where does it come from?" And they're like, "Oh my god, it comes from their teeth." Why?
I mean,
I
but
just
it's
love
like
the shift in animation in
Yes.
that scene
Yeah.
too.
I
where
feel
it's
like
the horror.
if
and
anything
like,
was ever super anime on that show, it was
Yeah,
that.
it was
scene.
that
They
scene.
wanted,
Yeah.
like lose all color, they
Yeah.
turn gray, they just kind of shift through the
And
background. I
also
love it.
Matt's first meeting with Alora. I ship,
Oh, I love
and
that.
to be
I
fair,
love
I
that.
have to tell you guys, I ship Matt with literally any character on the show
Sure.
except Pidge because like incest is bad,
No,
unlike what Game of
very
Thrones wants
bad.
you to think.
Yeah.
So,
oh, except
yay.
for we make exceptions.
Yeah.
Obviously.
I did want to point out one thing I was really kind of disappointed about the season. It's kind of the only big thing for me is that all of Keith's arc until now was him becoming a better person, a better leader, a better friend, and then it just all goes to shit in the first episode where he's like, "Never mind, I'm doing this other shit now." And I'm like, "Why did you? Why would you do
Because
something
they
like
brought Shiro back, which
Exactly.
is what I'm
Yeah.
what I need to
Yeah.
address right now.
Okay.
Because is it just that he's just constantly a clone that is made?
that?" Okay,
by
so
the
we're getting into
Galra?
wild
I don't
speculation.
know.
Should we start wild speculation? Do we
Wild
have time?
speculation.
This might be wild speculation
we
time
have
because I
time.
feel
We
like
have
that
really
is
quick,
one
really
of the
quick.
most important things that like people see that they address that they never address in like the season 3 and season 4.
But again, we're part of a 26 episode arc that we haven't.
Yeah, I guess.
We're halfway through this
still.
season.
Jen Below Zero mentions that they named the cow after one of the producers.
Yes,
too, which
Benjamin
is
Kaltenecker.
Oh, bless.
So
Yep.
fun. That's so fun.
So yeah, I think wild speculation. Shiro is definitely a clone.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
he's definitely a
Oh.
clone.
I don't
and-
even think that's
Oh,
wild
dude.
speculation.
Yeah, no,
that's
that's
like-
like
fact.
they
he wakes-
basically
he wakes
spell
up
it
in a
out for you,
lab.
especially
Yeah.
when that Galra guy
Project-
is like time for phase 3, and you're
yeah.
like,
Of
Okay.
Project Kuron.
yeah,
Yeah.
come
like
on.
black because he's white. Wait,
No,
what?
Kuron. Like I'm
clone.
saying
Like a
clone, but I'm
clone.
Japanese.
Oh, I
Like
thought
a
it was because
clone?
no. Listen to me. Listen to me now. His name is Shiro White Kuro. It means black. So I was
Right.
like, oh, is it Shiro?
Yeah.
That could also be.
It's like Project Kuro.
like
Oh.
Mirakuru. You know?
Yeah. I got you guys. I got you guys.
Yeah, so I'm hoping they actually address that because I would, if I were on a team of, you know, all these super crazy alien technologies and Keith and Shiro just came back one day and he was just like, I don't know what happened. I'd be pretty suspicious, which no one seems to be
They're
suspicious.
just like, this is
Yeah.
fine.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We love you.
I feel like I totally relate to Keith though. He's just like, I don't want to be leader, and Shiro's back, so
but he
I don't
already
wanna
went
be
through that
leader.
whole thing about being a leader the last season.
Well, once again, they brought
he
him
wants
back.
to-
But he also had that conversation with Lance where
Yes,
Lance was like, I
exactly.
don't know where I fit in anymore.
Yeah.
And Keith's like, shut up. You're supposed to be part of this team. And so then Keith now sees an opportunity to take
lead.
himself
Oh,
out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because he,
That's
at
a
the
little
end of the
backward
day,
stepping.
his whole thing is that, you know, he's a Galra and he wants to figure out who his family is. So
Miguel Blazeman was like, because Black Lion was like, it's kind of Shiro, I guess.
Black Lion, know what?
it's Shiro Lights.
Black
It's
Lion
fine.
is like, well,
Close enough.
it's the Kuron Shiro.
And then also to address your wild speculation, last question that you wrote, Michelle, or whoever wrote, does he even know that witch is his mom? I don't think he knows.
Lotar doesn't know that.
Wait,
I don't think he
who?
knows
Who?
that
That-
witch.
doesn't
That
know
Lotar
that-
doesn't
I
know
don't
that-
I don't think that Lotar knows that Hagar is Minerva.
Because like
yeah.
Hagar doesn't know that she's his mother.
disrespectful.
Yeah,
to him. I
Hagar
was like,
doesn't-
dude, that's your
Yeah.
mom.
Hagar doesn't know she's Minerva, really. I don't think. Except like there was a moment where she was like looking at herself in a mirror, and it
she's
looked
like-
Yeah, she
Yeah.
kind of puts two and two together.
Yeah.
Well, during that flashback when he basically brings
Yeah.
what's his name back to life,
Uh-huh.
you know, like she has that revelation.
Oh,
that she
Zarkon,
used-
yeah.
but then you
like,
can
"We
tell
had
that
a
like she
son."
basically forgot. Like,
Totally.
she had
Right.
no
Oh, they're
memories.
like
It's
a completely
those
different
sweet,
person.
sweet
Yeah,
Like, you know,
biscuits.
that was a sad flashback. That was
and
a
they're
good
both
Yeah.
zombies.
They're
Kind
well,
of.
it's,
Kind
the,
of.
it's the evil space Cthulhu influence of evil dark nightmares. You know, it's like I get it.
And how?
Yeah.
Bop.
So
Oh.
I don't know. I'm actually really looking forward to it. I really thought there was just gonna be like this series that they just like put another episode and it's like they fight some bad guy and then we fight another bad guy and then we fight another bad guy and I thought it was gonna go on and actually it's
Yeah.
way more intriguing than that.
Yeah.
The story
It
writing
definitely
is so
is.
good.
And I gotta say, I think I enjoyed the season. Like I said, I do wish that they released them as like I wish 3 and 4 were
Sets,
released
yeah.
together. But
Yeah.
I mean, I knew that going into it after we talked about it at Comic Con.
Yeah.
So I was okay for me in that sense. But I do like. Man, those Pidge moments and the Matt feels are so real. But even I was feeling for Shiro, who was probably a clone. Like when he was like begging, the Black Lion to like let him like pilot again, and that his friends needed him. Like I really liked that moment a lot.
Yeah.
You know.
You have Shiro. You good enough.
yeah, exactly. I don't know. I really enjoyed the season though. I really did. And if I can see where you guys didn't like the Voltron show episode, but if it was a longer season, I feel like it would make
Be
more
like
sense.
a little blip in a bigger picture.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it'd be like all those Naruto
Absolutely.
episodes where they go and find cards or something.
Yeah.
Oh God.
So you guys can watch this on Netflix. It's out now. It's great.
And
Get
you
on
should.
it.
Yeah.
Watch
Go
it.
Voltron. Yeah.
Really good.
Well, everybody, get your gaming hats together for Fuzakeru.
Oh, you said it right this time. Very proud of you.
Yeah.
So
Thank
this
you.
week, just ourselves.
We actually.
Self-serving.
This was
Deep dive,
suggested
yeah.
by Damoon Rules in the chat, and we
Yeah.
thought it'd be fun to mix it up a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wrote mine down.
Oh, we're
Perfect.
supposed to write it down.
So what we have to do in this little exercise is tell each other. We say who we think we would be as an anime character, like not based on necessarily just looks, but more personality, I guess.
Yeah.
Or either or. And then
Oh, good. Thank God it's
everyone
either
else
or.
says, "No, you're wrong. This is what I think."
Okay. All
Yeah.
right. All right.
Yeah.
All right.
Oh, all
right,
right.
here we go.
This is a discussion.
Here we go.
Discussion.
What do we start
Realize.
with? Do we start each with like who do we think we are?
Or
Go
who
one
do
by
we-
one. One by
Okay.
one. Yeah.
All right.
Okay. You guys are all looking at me. So
I don't know.
Start with
You're
me.
the one
Start
representative.
with me.
Go for it.
Who did I? Oh, I forgot who I. Oh, I honestly, I talk about this anime all the time, but friggin'.
Is it Wakako?
Yes, I'm Wakako from Wakako Sake. I'm a woman who has spent. I spent several years living in Japan. I moved there by myself, and I spent a lot of time walking the streets and just going into bars and meeting people. And like, even though my Japanese wasn't perfect, it was just really fun. And like, food and drink became a really big part of my life, and it still is because of that. And a couple of misadventures. So I think that's me. And I did live the OL lifestyle for a little bit, but not anymore.
I wrote down for like a character that you could easily cosplay, Umaru-chan, because I feel like you are a beautiful One-san who also pulls off the like hamster hood really well.
Oh,
I am a
boy.
hamster.
And I finally started watching that show because I haven't seen it because I was like in the midst, but like I totally agree. I totally
So
agree.
fun.
That was my
I'm
choice for Michelle too.
garbage.
I wrote down for myself for a character I could cosplay very easily that is not me at all, but who I look like. Annie from Attack on Titan. Especially with the way I have my hair done today.
Yeah, definitely.
But I think that the character that I am like most embodied by, honestly, is Yang Xiaolong from Ruby, the blonde sister. Like she's like she's just like such an Onesan kind of like archetype, and
Totally.
you know, I have a younger brother. She has a younger sister. I'm very protective of him and just everybody that I care about. And I can be a little reckless, but also like she can talk her way into and out of some shit. So I don't know.
I think in the same way I picked for you, character-wise, as Stellar Mars, because she is totally the same exact way. She in ways acts as an older sister to. From
In what version of
hold
Sailor
on,
Moon?
this is my perspective.
Okay.
This is not what you think about Sailor Mars. I know it's a deep dive we cannot do right now.
Yeah, it's
But to me, like in a lot of the basic early episodes, she's just like she is really trying to take care of her friends, Unusaki. Sailor Mars / Sailor Venus is what I'm going with here. Pay attention, Max.
Okay.
And I think but you also like you do take care of people, but you're like, you're fun, but you're very beautiful also.
Oh, thanks.
I feel like for me, who I thought Emma looked like is the main girl from Escaflowne.
Hitomi?
Yes!
I was looking, I was like, she just looks like her.
Yeah. Yeah, I think Hitomi has sort of green blue
It's like
eyes too. Yeah.
I-
Just like as Emma.
I love Hitomi.
So I kind of checked out on the look portion of it because it's hard. So I just found a blonde character that happens to have glasses. And it happened to be Sweden from Atelia, and apparently he's the only one that has like actual glasses and blonde hair in the history of anime, which is insane.
I know
by
there
the
aren't
way.
really blonde glasses characters.
There's literally none besides Sweden.
Isn't Rusty from Log Horizon blonde with glasses?
No.
There is
Doesn't have
I
glasses.
think there's a blonde girl with glasses also in Attack on Titan. Like one of the other commanders is
Yes,
like a
you're
blonde
right.
glasses character.
She has a little high
yeah.
Wait, doesn't she die? Is she a dead person?
Oh, I think she. No, I don't think she's dead. I don't think she's dead yet.
And
Who's Matt?
Matt.
Mine's like I honestly feel like I connect like between Luffy and Deku, like a mix. And
Okay,
Aw.
I put Midoriya for you.
I put Deku.
I put Luffy for you. Because I got you, bro. Because I got you.
Thanks, bro.
To be One Piece
And
bros.
like I'm very boring. I have black hair, so I feel like I could do that, and I want to do that.
But
so.
you also like try your best and are really
Yeah.
Oh, thanks, guys.
and
That
positive.
was the personality part for
Yeah.
me. Was you're very enthusiastic and a very like
Yeah.
And if you were a pirate captain, I'd be like, yeah, I'd be like a
I'd
Sasuke.
follow him.
I'd be a
You'd be a
Sasuke.
Follow
Sasuke.
his
You were
pure
totally
heart.
thinking totally.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh my god.
You may.
For myself, I think I am most like Sasuke.
You're nothing
I
like
am
Get out.
very angry all the time.
We were talking about Voltron. If you guys check our Twitter feed from like last week,
Yeah.
we do that. We were all talking about which Voltron character would be, and I was like, Keith.
Oh
Keith.
yeah, she's
Oh,
If I
100%
was Keith,
Yeah.
I'm totally Sasuke.
I was gonna. I put I put Homura from Madoka.
I'll take
Yeah.
that.
You know, because like you seem tough, but like you have
Yeah.
feelings, and maybe you're stuck in a time
I
loop trying to
picked-
save your girlfriend. I don't know.
Yeah, I picked Umaru for you actually because to me, like you are. I think you're one of those people I know, but when you're home, you are fucking trash.
I am.
You guys think I'm trash at home? She is real
You know
trash.
what's
I used to
hilarious?
live with this.
I literally put that same thing too. Yeah.
But
I see that.
Her
It's
house is a
because
mess.
Max and Michelle have been at my house, and my house is an absolute mess.
It is a garbage
and
can. I'm sorry.
My husband totally takes care of me, and I
Yes, that
literally
too.
am like in a blanket, just watching anime all day long.
Frequently come over
Right,
and
she
she's like
looks
not
like
wearing
she's
clothes.
put together, and we're just like, no, you're not. We know your secret.
I am literally a trash person.
Yeah.
Yeah. Matt.
Max, what
For
did you-
me, I guess for appearance-wise, it was just basically every Megane character ever that has black hair. My hair used to be black, and it is black sometimes. And also any Clamp character, because I got long-ass legs. And
Long
but
legs.
you don't understand, like, the later Clamp, like Holic Clamp, where their arms are, like, real long.
Yeah,
Like, this all the time, like, they're wobbly. And then my personality, I guess it'd be, like, Zetsubo-sensei.
Oh my god, I did that for you! I picked that for you! And then,
Holy shit!
and then I said, I can't say that on camera because I was mean to Max last week and I can't do it this week too.
But now that you said it,
That's not mean, it's just a normal
just a
assessment
fact.
of my
Sayonara
personality.
Setsubo-kun is a little known anime that's just like about this guy's real negative.
Just real
That's so
nihilistic,
funny.
Yeah,
but also
that's
very
so
funny.
funny.
That's like,
Yeah, he
Ron
also looks
Solo
like
in
him.
chat said Hideo Kojima.
yes.
Yay.
I
This
like
whole
it.
time, these are all CG people.
I like it.
It's just the Hideo Kojima show.
Well, guys, thanks for hanging out. Do we have time? Do we have any questions from Twitter or anything?
I don't know if I
don't
didn't.
know.
Well,
We
I
didn't
didn't make sure. I
check.
didn't ask for
Sorry.
time.
That's okay.
But for next week, we really do need you guys to tell us what should we review. Next week is our episode where we do a fall, like mid-season,
preview.
like
Yes.
talk.
Yeah.
So we'll talk about any series you guys tell us to talk about. We're not gonna talk about fucking Yu-Gi-Oh, but we will. Sorry.
We will talk. I will talk about Yu-Gi-Oh.
No, has he
We'll talk
currently-
about
no, no,
Yu-Gi-Oh.
no,
We'll talk about
Has he
Yu-Gi-Oh. We'll talk
currently
about Yu-Gi-Oh.
currently
Has to be
airing?
currently airing.
Currently airing, and
Yeah.
we'll talk about it. So let
There
us
is
know
a
in
new
Twitter
Yu-Gi-Oh series.
or on Discord, please.
Yeah.
Hey.
Guys, next week, for reasons, which you'll find out soon enough. That's all I can say. We are moving next week to our new time. Next week, 9 p.m., 9:30 p.m. Pacific time.
Yes.
Starting next week.
9 p.m.
Yeah.
For
9:30.
reasons.
Please.
9:30, more like
Yeah.
9:30.
Shit,
yeah.
9:30?
Wait, it's 9:30 now?
9:30.
It's gonna be
This is news
9:30.
to us. So
Wow.
please stay awake.
That's
9:30.
interesting.
And
Yeah.
watch us.
For
Pacific
reasons.
time.
Pacific time.
Pacific time.
You're in
So-
the East Coast. Stay up late, kids.
Yeah,
It's
I
working
mean,
out.
look,
Sorry.
if you want to end your day, if you're on the
Yeah,
the
lay
West
in your
Coast,
bed all
they-
comfy.
You know, this
Yeah.
will be the last
Put
thing
on
you
your
watch
Twitch.
before
Yeah.
you go to beddy by
Yeah.
time.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah,
our
exactly.
faces. Our faces.
Your nightmares.
Cool, guys. Thanks for hanging out, everyone. If you're watching the YouTube, comment below. Let us know your thoughts if you want us to cover, and keep the conversation going on Twitter and Discord, y'all. And what?
What?
Oh, I know. Is that the sign off?
I don't know what the sign off is. Oh, it is.
And remember, y'all.
We are Hyper